This is the Corona Post Show here at the Rip Curl Narrabeen Classic. What a stellar day for pro surfing, kicking off the seeding round of competition here on the second day of the waiting period. And what a crowd we had, especially when one of the greatest of all time got to come down to play here in the seeding round, a guy named Mick Fanning. So many great highlights, and finally got to see the world's best set up some key heats into the round of 32, a round of 17, but also the scary, deadly elimination round. There's some big players in that one. Thanks for joining us on the Harvey Norman host set. Joe Turpel, Richie Lovett, and also Wayne Rabbit Bartholomew. Richie, always great to just get that opening day done where we get to see everyone kind of work through conditions. There was definitely some challenges today, but I think we kind of finished on our feet with that last matchup.
Yeah, we did well, and we finished with a bang, and well, we started with a bang too, and there were some upsets in the women's draw. We saw the usual suspects in the men just moving through methodically as they do. And, well, it was an exciting day. And Narrabeen was a little challenging today, not the normal kind of lined-up lefts that we're used to seeing. But it was great. It was great to see the world's best out there.
And in Rabbit, things changed a bit. Almost felt like things tried to get a little bit east. A little lined-up left kind of set up some athletes like Owen Wright today.
Yeah, well, what was happening was we had that swell. It seemed like it was transitioning from the short interval swell of yesterday, and that was still being crossed up with that long interval swell that started moving in with the tide. And the athletes started looking for corners. And as we saw with Owen and several others that were moving down the line, getting that corner, there was a lot of different takeoff points today, and the odd right into the alley. So
100% Rabbit. Well, last heat that you got to call, Rich, we finished on our feet, tubes and airs. Jack Robinson got the win. He's with Stace.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I'm down here with Jack, who, between Griffin and him, gave us one of the most exciting battles of the day. Obviously, Kai O'Belly couldn't quite find his rhythm out there, but Jack, how awesome is it to get such a competitive matchup early in the event?
It's good. I actually never really had a heat with Griffin, so yeah, it's good to surf against him. And yeah, I know that we're the same age and we're going to be going against each other a lot in the years to come, so he knows it's on too. Like, it's good fun,
Absolutely, even to the point of having a good paddle battle. I got to ask, that one looked pretty intense. If a wave popped right up there, were you good to go?
Right, yeah, no, 100% I was good to go. Just straight in his face and back out there. So, yeah, no, it was a good one. He paddles pretty fast.
Yeah, that was good. And talk to me about having a good variety of repertoire. You managed to find one of the day's only barrels. That's got to feel nice.
Yeah, like, seriously, I'm not trying to find barrels. Like, I have to prove myself in little waves all the time. Like, I don't know. So it's like, I just want to surf, and I have a lot of things to do, but yeah, it was just there, it popped up, and I was going to take it, so yeah, it's a good opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's looking like we might get a few heats back to back, a few days in a row. Your body's feeling fit and ready, and you're good to go?
Yeah, I feel way better. I mean, Newcastle was good, but yeah, I felt good up there as well. It just didn't go my way, so I'm feeling free and feeling good for this one, so yeah, just cruising.
Awesome. Best of luck in the next round, Jack.
Thanks. Thank you, guys.
Well done, Jack Robinson. I mean, when you're that great of a barrel rider, you're going to get big cheers like that from your fans.
Of course. I'll be back.
So there were some slow conditions out there, but you managed to find a few jams.
And Rabbit, I mean, you've been really barreled. You could speak to this. I mean, if he's trying to perform, but when you're that good at tube riding, sometimes the tube finds you.
Oh, look, I think that Jack Robinson and probably Jack Robinson and John Florence, two best tube riders in the world. Jack is amazing. I mean, for him, it did get really glassy, and there were some nice pockets this afternoon. But no one would have picked a barrel. That was a proper barrel, and that wide angle from the water. Gosh, man, that looked incredible.
Oh, it was so great. I mean, Jack's kind of speaking to maybe some of the critics that want him to perform in small waves. He's done that, got the big heat win to finish off the day, but one heat that maybe had more attention than any other today, with a lot of build-up to it for good reason, Rich, was the Italo Ferreira, Mick Fanning, Morgan Siblick matchup. It was a joy to watch.
This was a great heat, and I actually went down to the beach to watch this heat because I wanted to feel the crowd and feel the energy, and they absolutely loved it. And this guy here, well, he just picked up where he left off up at Newcastle, bringing that dynamic performance and just hammering these backhand turns. This guy is just unbelievable. The energy he brings to the water. Look at this. Just I don't think I've ever seen an air done that fast ever. And this kid just continues to impress. Just so much speed out of every turn. He's accelerating out of the turn. and just reading the waves so well. And unfortunately for our multiple world champion, Mick just didn't really find too many.
Fireworks on the beach from the fans. Ferreira was so dangerous in that. What was a rematch from the Bells final that Mick got to enjoy with Italo? It was so cool to see him back. And I think it might have been one of the toughest swells for Mick because, or parts of the day, I should say. It really set up Italo so well. It kind of felt like it was against the grain. And Mick got that one to kind of get a piece of it. I feel like he's just needed that warm-up, and I'm excited to see him flare up in his next opportunity, Rob.
Well, look, you know, Mick Fanning is a champion. He would like to acquit himself. I know he was out there with his little teammate, Morgan Siblick. And Morgan was in a unique position where, you know, he had a huge result at Newcastle. There was a huge fanfare about that. But today, he was able to go back under radar because, you know, these giants of the sport were there, the world champion, the triple world champion. There's little Morgan Siblick, and he's good.
The Australian fans knew. They don't know when the next time they'll see Mick in a jersey like this. So it was very special to see the crowd on hand. Their next chance to do it, it will be the elimination round as we check out the heat for Mick Fanning. Can he survive and avoid the 33rd? Three-time world champ has Jeremy Flores and Connor O'Leary, Rich.
Wow, this is a tough matchup. And, well, Connor, he's on his forehand here at the left-handers. And Mick's going to come into this heat with a bit of a point to prove. He's going to want to show everyone that, you know, retirement, he hasn't just been sitting on the couch, you know. And Rap, you and I know how good he's surfing at the moment and how much work and training he's been putting into his surfing. And really today is he'll just hit the Etch-a-Sketch, eliminate that, and he'll be back tomorrow bigger and better.
Well, he will, and he is in great form. I mean, we've been watching him up home, and he has been having these hit-outs with Ethan Ewing and Morgan and several others. But the thing is, he must have had a ton of heats against Jeremy Flores in his career. And Jeremy is such a fierce competitor. And see, you know, Jeremy and Connor are surfing for survival. So this is going to be, you know, it's going to be full on. I mean, I can't wait for that heat.
I'm looking forward to it. Mick had a lot of people ask him, are you coming back? What about your legacy? You know, are you afraid to lose? And he was like, no, like, I want to feel this again. He's got nothing to prove. He's already one of the all-time greats, and I love that headspace. You know, today was tough. Came in with a broken board, but he moved on quickly. His family was there, his little baby Xander, and all of a sudden he has a clean slate, one more shot at continuing his journey here at Narrabeen.
Yeah, well, he's got a bit of a battle on his hand there because Jeremy didn't have such a good heat either, and he'll be looking to bounce back. And as you sort of mentioned, Rab, you know, it's nice, the fairy tale story of Mick Fanning coming back and you know, coming to competition here. But these guys have got their careers on the line here, so they're going to be digging really deep as well, and looking forward to that matchup when it happens.
Can't wait to see that one unfold. We had some great bounce-back stories. The great thing about having back-to-back rapid-fire events is you have a chance to redeem yourself. One woman that did that, the first heat of the day, Malie Manuel, looked incredibly sharp in the heat with Brisa Hennessy and also Stephanie Gilmore. Rab, what'd you think?
Yeah, this was a great comeback for Malia. Well, you know, she just really had a shocker up at Newcastle, and that would have been the first time, I think, in her career she went out so early. And this was a really tough heat because both, you know, Steph and Brisa are just surfing so well.
It was an interesting matchup, Joe, because Malia actually sat for about 14, 15 minutes in this heat. She really didn't get things underway, and she said when she came in, the head noise started to happen, and she was already going, oh no, I'm going to be looking at another horror result like I had at Newcastle. But she stayed composed, picked a gem of a wave, opened up on her backhand, got two really nice turns done, and then she just sunk her teeth into the heat and got the win. So congratulations to Malia.
What a great bounce-back heat for Malia, who's had so many amazing results on the QS, which typically starts here on the Northern Beaches. She has so much familiarity with Newcastle, with Manly. So now she's got that chance to bounce back here. Elimination round is looking pretty tough. Some big names once again in the elimination round for the women. Just two heats here, trying to avoid third with that early knockout. Tatiana Weston-Webb, Tyler Wright, and the local wildcard Laura Enever. Rabbit, these are insane heats.
They are. I mean, Laura, obviously the local, and again, she didn't have a very good heat today either. It was a slow heat, and it took her a little bit time to get going. And Tyler and Tatiana, I mean, they're fierce, you know, and they absolutely don't want to go out in this round. So, you know, Laura's the one who's probably going to have to step up in that one, and I don't know. If not, then maybe we'll see her back with us.
That is a crazy. That's right. Isabella Nichols from the final at Newcastle. DeFay also went down to Carissa up at Merriweather. And then Brisa Hennessy, second time in a row. She's in the ER. How's this one going to play, Rich?
Yeah, this is a little bit more even in the matchup here. Obviously, Joanne's got the more experience out of our three women competitors. But an important heat for Isabella Nichols. You know, she doesn't want to do that hero to zero thing. You know, she had such a good result last week, and now she's in danger of an early elimination. So she'll be really looking to dig in, and a great opportunity for Brissa as well to really kind of get the momentum going for her.
It is something that does happen sometimes. You have a big win, you almost relax. You're like, I figured it out. And then you go out early. I remember that happened to the Spartan, Michelle Perez. Big win, Margaret River. Second round loss at Bells to follow, and he was able to pick that one back up. As we continue with the Corona Post Show, we've got to this point of the day, the best wave, Boost Mobile wave of the day, as we go back to the heat that we just talked about. Goes to world number one and the reigning world champ, Italo Ferreira, Rabbit.
This is his first wave, and he just opened up with just brilliance. So sharp on his backhand, no aerials, just solid carving.
I feel like Italo's like one of those little action figure dolls where you can break him, you can smash him, you can try and knock him off, throw him against a wall, but the guy will just still be solid on his feet and you can't knock him off.
It's true. I mean, and every section looked different. That floater wasn't routine. It had different moods to it. He read it well, and he's just got this real fun rhythm to his surfing. It doesn't matter what the wave's like. He's really flexing as world number one right now.
The one thing about Italo is that he just surfs in his free surf with such intensity. I mean, he's been out here every morning, been the first in the water out there at 5:30, the crack of dawn, before the dawn. Before dawn, you're seeing a silhouette on the horizon. That's Italo 6 foot in the air.
100%. And it's all paying off for him at the moment. He deserves that Boost Mobile wave of the day. Coming up after the break, we'll dive into the Surfline forecast, see what tomorrow will look like for the world's best. You're watching the Corona Post Show as we dive into the Surfline forecast. What are we looking at for tomorrow, Rich?
Well, I think today we saw that long period south swell, as Bugs mentioned. It moved in, and I think it's going to carry on through the next few days, which is a really, really positive sign. It'll possibly move a little bit further round to the east as we get into the next few days here. And as you can see on the outlook here, 4 to 6, 4 to 7, 5 to 8 as we go through the day. And well, good conditions, offshore winds the whole day, which is quite nice. It might go a little bit onshore towards the afternoon, but really light and variable. And then looking further into the week here, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can see that swell height tomorrow's looking really good, and then it dips down again Monday, Tuesday, but then rockets back up again on the Wednesday. So it's a really positive and promising forecast as far as I'm concerned. We're going to have plenty of swell coming in, and the winds are nice and light and variable. We're going to have groom conditions, and as we saw this afternoon, there was more corners on offer. So as the swell continues to roll in, it's going to be broken up a little bit more, and that's a good sign.
Ideal wind direction as well, Rabbit. That'll be nice to see. And I liked your take earlier with this direction of being really south. It was hard to pick him for every surfer out there, where we saw local knowledge paying off at Merriweather. We'll see how that plays out in the next couple of days here in Narrabeen.
Well, it's going to be interesting as we move into round 3. That's the money round, and it's going to be intense. And Rich, that was a really optimistic forecast, mate. I'm really glad you made it.
Looking forward to it. We'll see what happens first thing in the morning, that's for sure, with those key heats in the elimination round. Well, Dimity Stoyle has been having a blast sneaking behind the scenes. This is what she came up with today.
So Laura, how long does it take you to walk from A to B in this town?
Well, depending on how many people you stop to say hi to, but
You're well trained at lefties.
yeah.
Where do you draw inspiration from? Ooh, that man right there. Hey, Amu! You've come flying out of retirement to come surf a left.
I actually drove down.
You are looking sporty this morning.
See? Yeah, I'm first.
Yeah. Look at this. This is reserved for the WSL coaches. I'm just sneaking in as an athlete. Look at the crowd.
I've never seen this many people on the beach before.
Slow you down while I'm paddling.
Why does it look staunch?
It looks massive.
It's because I'm hectic and I just swore. Sorry about that. Language warning.
Most ripped dad on tour.
Oh.
Whose baby did you steal?
That's my brother's baby.
Xander, show us your back. We've got Brazil, fan squad down the front. Up the back here we got North Narrabeen.
You've got a backstage pass if you hang out with Dimity Stoyle. That is the absolute best. You get to dive into the personalities and what it's like in between heats. She's getting all the surfers to open up, Rich.
She is. I love it. Those behind-the-scenes moments, they're priceless. And we get those little insights and they get relaxed, as you say. Sometimes it can be a bit serious when it's interview time, but Dimity, she just unwinds them. It's great.
Knows exactly how to get in there. Well, now it's time for the top 5. We'll kick off with number 5. On a big day of the seeding round, we're going to go up into the sky. A worthy entry into our top 5 for the day. The Goofy Foot from Brazil opened up early in this matchup, went to the sky. One of the best in the air, especially when you talk about style, Rabbit.
Yagador is one of the best. He's a master in the air. And, he's just got such good style. Great surfer.
Rotates off axis as well, not just your stock air reverse. He goes upside down, backed it up with some powerful surfing. Yago Dora, 6.83 for that air. Kept him in the lead to move on into the next round. Fans loved it. Top 4 here on that top 5. A big moment for Japan. Amuro Suzuki getting the call up to surf and make some CT history. It's been about 25 years since we've seen a surfer from Japan on the women's side.
Yeah, well, showing no nerves here as she got into this heat, put together some great waves, and of course went up to Newcastle, didn't get a start, but now at Narrabeen, she's getting the opportunity to really show us what she's got, and she's been knocking on the door for a while now, and a great debut in the CT.
Coming through at number 3, all about Medina Magic. Big backside rotators to get the big win today, Rob.
Yeah, that was just another very solid heat by the 2-time world champion Medina, and this recovery there was just phenomenal. Rich, that hurt me to watch it.
Your hamstrings, you had to stretch after that call, Rabbit. That was amazing. Absolute magic from Medina to get the big win. We'll stick with the World Champs theme. Top 2, now moment. Second, John Florence. Rich was a pretty rough start. Saved himself with 5 seconds.
Yeah, John just left it right down to the last moment and just couldn't quite get the finish on some of these rides here. But then found this little left-handed, needed the score, committed to it, and then did the high-risk manoeuvre just to pull it out right in the dying stages here. Look at this, finds the little section, gets the flat spin, but he had that projection out in front of the wave, and he was able to stick it. And a great moment there, and the beach was just absolutely heaving through all those moments.
Completely loved it. Taking the win in the top 5. Wild card, Reef Hazelwood. Big slob air. So much hype on that one, Rabbit.
Well, this is the Australian, response to the Brazilian storm. Reef Hazelwood, probably one of the best proponents in this nation of a whole variety of different airs.
So much variety. He's got so many completions, and I feel like Reef is so reliable with height, especially with that stock air. And we always talk about the reverse rotation with aerialists. Say they can actually land easier because they're kicking their tail towards the beach, where when you're just lofting it high, it shows how much composure you have to bring that thing back down. If we give anyone a signature move for Reef, that's that front side air that he has on lock.
I love it, and we see that the rotating air so much. It's kind of refreshing just to see that straight air, and it almost like he's floating up there and he's weightless for so long. And yeah, as Rab, you said, he's one of the best in the business for sure.
And I'd like to see what Reef would do with a board like that. That's the exact replica of what Simon rode back in '81.
This is just an amazing bit of equipment right here, some history on it. Might have to take it home tonight, we'll see. But,
it's hard not to touch that thing.
We're not even allowed to touch it.
It's pretty incredible that Simon made these for the winners of this event. Let's find out more about Simon Anderson and the thruster.
The greatest surfboard design innovation since the shortboard revolution. Simon Anderson's 3-fin thruster combined the drive and power of a single fin with the loose, fast freedom of the twin to create the first fully functional surfboard for all ocean conditions. And if there were any doubts about the performance capabilities of the thruster, Simon put them to the sword in 1981 when he won Bells, Narrabeen and the Pipeline Masters in surf that ranged from 18-foot long winding walls to dribbly 3-foot summer rollers to bone-crunching orbs on shallow reef. It's fair to say that if Simon didn't have Narrabeen as the original thruster proving ground, surfing would look a whole lot different today.
The thruster design changed We're celebrating 40 years since that went down, which is so incredible. And Rabbit, you got to compete through that special time. You stuck to your single fin for a while. I mean, that made sense. You already had a world title on a single fin. Now, looking back, do you wish you changed designs a little bit earlier?
Well, it made sense, but I was incredibly stubborn. As I said, Michael Ho and I were the last two holdouts on the single fin. I actually went to a twin fin in '81. After all, we're seeing Simon Anderson on that thing. We just left Mark Richards in Newcastle. We had his board sitting there. I have nightmares about those things.
Oh, my gosh. And it's amazing. I mean, you think about it. A lot of changes right in that time, Rich, and you always focus on design. It's still the most dominant design you've seen with those 3 fins. Quads make an appearance here and there, but it's always the thruster.
Yeah, for the most part, thruster is really the most functional setup on a surfboard in terms of performance surfing and control. And yeah, Simon, it was great to see him down at the event today. He was watching on, believe me, up at the VIP area and checking out all the action.
Yeah, it was good to see Simon and Sharon down here today. I mean, Mr. Narrabeen, it's awesome, and he's an observer of everything and still shaping just precise surfboards. Incredible.
His sense of humor hasn't changed either. When you talk to him, that dry wit that he has. When I first met him, I'll never forget it. I was like, "Is he?" Wait, no, he's there. Yeah, he's having a laugh all the time, but he also is very passionate about surfing. He'll take photos of everybody, and I love that how long he's been involved with it. He still loves it, just like his first wave ridden.
Yeah, absolutely. Dry sense of humour, that's what he's famous for.
Simon's speeches are just like a bottle of fine Merlot.
Certainly is. What an epic day we had today. Join us early tomorrow morning, 6:45 for the call. Take care.
When the devil calls, I'm gonna ride that train. When the devil calls, I'm gonna ride that train. Gonna lay my bullets down, gonna send him back to his grave. When the devil calls, you better hide, 'cause hell's coming down these bloody rails.
Frontside rotator to kick things off. Backside throw tail reverse. He gets it with the clock against him.
Felipe Toledo with surfing like this, he could be on his way in 2021. Loading up, big lofty air, and he gets the completion. You can see it coming from a mile away.
The wild card, Dylan Moffitt, and the crowd support is loud and clear. Nice clean surfing for Medina. Casual approach to that one. Tail high rotation for Gabriel Medina. Everyone's hero is back and ready to upset the world title race.
When the devil calls, I'm gonna ride that train. When the devil calls, I'm gonna ride that train. Gonna lay my bullets down, gonna send him back to his grave. When the devil calls, you better hide, 'cause hell's coming down these bloody rails.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.